Canned beans have a special place in my pantry. I pull them out for snacks, for last-minute dinners, and even for dessert. Yes, I use black beans to create a gluten-free brownie that is so moist and chocolatey, you may never go back. Today, we're using canned beans to prepare a quick, warming winter soup and black bean brownies. I'm Chef Heidi Fink, and that's what we're cooking on the coast. Welcome to the kitchen. Today we are elevating the humble canned bean. We're going to be making a delicious and warming winter soup with these canned white beans, and we'll also be making some decadent black bean brownies, which happen to be high fiber and gluten-free, but don't tell anybody. Let's get warmed up. First, I'm gonna start by making the soup. I'm heating up this pan here, and I'm gonna saute some onions. That's always the best way to start a soup. We're gonna start with a bit of olive oil in the pan, a few tablespoons. And then I have one diced onion here. The pan's nice and hot, so I'm gonna add my onions. There we go. And we'll get that sauteing. We wanna saute that for a minute or two, just to start them softening slightly before we add our next step, which is our carrots and celery. I have some diced carrots and celery here, 1 carrot and 2 celery. These are part of the aromatics that really make the foundation of the soup. The other things we're going to be adding to this soup, this is my secret ingredient, is tomato paste. And I'm going to show you how to cook it so it doesn't have that canned tomato flavor. And our white beans, oh, I have some in the fridge. And also some herbs. So I have some fresh bay leaves here that I got from my tree, but you can just use dried. That really helps enhance the flavor of the soup. And then some rosemary, fresh rosemary. So it's about time to add my carrots and celery now, so I'm gonna add those. Again, you just wanna saute them for a minute or two to help bring out the flavors. Now, while that's sauteing, I'm going to be mincing up my rosemary. So you can use the stems as long as they're very tender. We need about a teaspoon, so that's enough there. Okay. So I'm just gonna mince this up. So in here I've got 4 cloves of minced garlic. I really, really love garlic in this soup. I think it really helps enhance the flavors. I'm gonna stir this one more time. Okay, we're almost ready to add our garlic and our rosemary, and I'm gonna get the tomato paste measured out in a little container just so it's a bit easier. So 2 tablespoons, approximately, of tomato paste. Sometimes it's a bit hard to get out of a spoon, so that's why I have this tiny mini spatula, one of my favorite kitchen tools. There we go. Let's see, how are we doing? Oh, this is looking and smelling really good. I can really smell those vegetables right now. The flavors are really blooming. I'm gonna add this garlic and rosemary right now. And you can add other herbs if you like. I've also done this with sage or oregano. I just really like a powerful, strong herb for this. Then you're gonna add the tomato paste. Now what we're gonna be doing is we are gonna be sauteing the tomato paste in this hot olive oil until it turns a slightly different color. And that's to add a richer, deeper flavor and to kind of get rid of that canned taste. This is a secret, an old country secret. Sauteing the tomato paste is one of the best things you can do, as a general flavor base. While that's sauteing, I'm gonna get my sliced sausages and my beans out of the fridge. So we've got our canned beans and we have our sausage. So this is one of these cans of white beans, drained. And you can use 2 if you want, but 1 is enough, I think. So it depends a bit on if you want to have a meatless meal or not. So if you want a meatless meal, I would use 2 cans. What I'm doing is sort of like combo omnivore meals. So I have some Italian sausage right here that I have sliced up. It's mild Italian sausage. You could use mild or spicy. I've sliced that up and I'm gonna be putting that in the soup. Now, take a look at this tomato paste. So the color's transformed, the flavor's transformed. I can smell, right now I'm just getting assaulted with like garlic, rosemary, beautiful, rich tomato flavor. Okay, now we're ready to add the broth. I have some chicken broth right here that I'm gonna be adding. You can add vegetable broth if you want. This is a type of soup where you could even get away with using water. It's got so much flavor going on. So quick and easy. So this is 4 cups of chicken broth, the whole container. There we go. Then we're gonna add our Italian sausage to that. I'm turning up the heat so it'll come to a boil. And you make sure you stir it right away so you can kind of break the sausage up. It likes to stick together even after you've sliced it. And our canned beans. We're gonna add a little bit of salt, not too much. The beans already have salt, the broth already has salt, and so do the sausages. So you just need a pinch. You can always add more, but you can't take it out. So just a pinch of salt. And also our 2 bay leaves. So one of my tricks I like to do with bay leaves is I just like to break them in half. You can do this with dried or fresh. It just helps their flavor release to the broth. So now we just have to bring this to a boil. We're gonna simmer it for about 15 minutes to build the flavors, and then we'll finish it up. We'll be back later in the show to bring together this warming winter soup and our black bean brownies. But first, we're on the road. See you after the break.
Cookin' on the Road is brought to you by Country Grocer, your local store where you'll feel like family.
I'm here in downtown Victoria at the Soupa Cafe, and I'm looking for the owner, Abby.
Heidi!
Oh, hi!
Hey, thanks for coming down. Welcome to Soupa Cafe.
Thanks so much for inviting me.
It's a pleasure.
I'm very excited.
So, this is Soupa Cafe. We've been here for about 6 years. And when we bought the place, it had 6 soups and was just open short hours. Now we're open 12 hours a day.
Wow.
We have loads of vegan options and tons of gluten-free options.
Right.
Soups, sandwiches, salads, burritos, quesadillas, treats, and the list goes on.
I have heard that your soups are so popular they've won some awards.
So we won the People's Choice Award, which was really exciting because we didn't actually know that we were in it.
That's amazing.
So that was really beautiful. And we took pretty much the 6 most popular soups that we sold, and we started packaging them, and we now sell them in the grocery stores.
Oh.
You find them in the frozen aisle, which is really uncommon, but that's because we don't use preservatives.
Oh, okay.
And they're just heat to eat, so you can heat them up at home. 3 vegan flavors, 3 meat flavors, and they're all gluten-free.
Oh, amazing. I would love to know what goes into making these soups.
Well, let's introduce you to the cook.
Hi, Carly. I'm very excited to try these soups. Can you tell me a little bit more about them?
Yeah, I've got a couple different ones for you to try. So let's start with the chicken stew, which is our most popular.
Okay.
We make it with local chicken breast we get from out in Keating. It's kind of like Grandma's pot pie here.
Oh, that looks
So I'm
and
just
smells
going to-
amazing.
It's nice and hearty too.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's so good.
Next, we're gonna try one of the classics, the meat chili.
Okay.
Everyone loves the meat chili.
Yeah.
We use ground beef only in it, so no ground pork. And then tons of different spices. This one is like for meat lovers. They absolutely love it. And then every chili is better with cheese, sour cream, and green onions.
Absolutely.
You can't have chili without that.
Oh, this smells heavenly.
We use cumin in it as well, just to give it really good depth. Yeah. Our most popular vegan one would be the red lentil mulligatawny. We actually do it with agala apples, so it's a little bit on the sweeter side. It's got some coconut milk, and then we slow roast the apples and cook them down.
I love how hearty they are too. Like, look at, they're all so thick. You're not getting like just a whole bunch of broth. Not that there's anything wrong with broth, but you know, when you buy a soup, you want to have it stick to your ribs.
Exactly.
This smells divine.
And if you come to the cafe, you can get all of our soups actually served over rice. So that one compares really well over rice.
I think this one's my favorite, honestly.
Is it the winner?
Oh, it's so good. Like the richness. I do love me a lentil soup, and this is one of the best ones I've ever had.
Thank you.
If soup's not enough, if you're craving something more, I see you have some other options over here.
Yeah, so what we have going on here is the loaded vegan burrito, which is probably one of our top selling vegan items. Then we've got our Italian sandwich, which is pretty simple, but a classic. It's got pesto and mayo, Genoa salami, prosciutto, and ham. And then our souvlaki chicken wrap, which is one of our top sellers. It's kind of like a Greek salad in a wrap.
Looks so delicious. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much, Heidi. It's been a real pleasure.
Yeah, thanks for having you. Come back and visit us.
Yeah, absolutely I will. Now I know where to come for the best homemade soup outside of my own kitchen.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks for coming down.
I'm so glad you made it back. We're fighting that chill in the air with our warming winter soup and our black bean brownies. So the soup has been simmering for about 15 minutes, and I'm just gonna take a smell. Smelling really good, it's looking really good. We just have a few more things to do to finish it up. What I wanna do is put some kale in there. I wanna show you very quickly how you prep a piece of kale. What you wanna do is pull the leaves off like this, off of the stem. You don't eat the stem, even though it's technically edible, it isn't very pleasant to eat. And then you wanna cut these very small, like so. You can use any green vegetable that you want for this recipe, chard spinach, even broccoli or some Asian greens, but I really like kale for this. So I have a bunch of shredded kale. It looks like a lot, but it will really shrink down. And you also wanna make sure to cook kale for a bit longer than you would cook another green vegetable. I like to think of it as sort of like a leafy green cabbage, so it needs a bit of time to get pleasant to eat, to get palatable. Otherwise, it's too chewy. So don't be afraid to let this cook for at least another 5 minutes. So while that's simmering with its kale, I'm gonna work on the black bean brownies. So I'll just move that out of the way. This other kale I'll use for something else. So here, I have a mixture of cocoa powder, white sugar, and brown sugar. I always like to use both types of sugar to really bring up the flavor. I have some melted butter here. We're gonna pour that right over our cocoa powder mixture. And we're gonna whisk that together. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take 1 cup of canned black beans. So you don't use the whole can, just 1 cup. We're gonna put it in a food processor. This is one recipe. Oops, we got a bean that tried to get away. This is a recipe, it's very important to use either a food processor or a blender. You wanna get the beans blended as smoothly as possible. We have 2 eggs that we're gonna put in there. And then we get a teaspoon of vanilla. Sometimes I just use the cap to measure a teaspoon. I don't know if that's okay, but I like to do that. There we go, teaspoon of vanilla. Now we're gonna put the lid on our food processor and we'll get it going. You want to get this as smooth as possible. I've got a greased brownie pan right here, and I've got 2 pieces of parchment. I'm gonna put them in here, like that. And put this one in, like that. This makes like a brownie hammock. All right. I can actually smell the vanilla in these beans. So now we've got our mixture here of the beans, the eggs, and the vanilla. We're gonna throw that into our chocolate butter sugar mixture. You wanna make sure you scrape every last bit out of this food processor. Then what we're gonna do is mix that together. We have to add a little bit of baking powder to this as well. So a 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder. Here we go. So you just need that for a little bit of lift. And we're gonna whisk that together. You wanna make sure that everything gets completely mixed. So make sure that cocoa powder is really well blended with our bean and egg mixture. Okay, that looks beautiful. We'll just put that right there so it doesn't dirty up our counter. Now, just make sure our brownie hammock is settled into place. we are going to scrape this brownie batter into our pan. This is one of my favorite parts of cooking, is the pouring of the batter. It just always looks so decadent, and I can just smell how chocolatey this is gonna be. So these brownies are entirely gluten-free, but you'll never know from eating them. People would just never guess it. Now you're gonna scrape this out to the edges. There we go. And there we have. I'm just gonna put that in the sink. There we have our bean brownie mixture, so I'm gonna go put that in the oven right now. That will take about 20 minutes to cook. But of course, via the magic of TV, I have some already made that were very easy to pull out of the pan because I had my brownie hammock. So I could just use the size of this to just pull that right out of the pan. It doesn't stick. Let's just check our soup. So the kale has cooked. I'm just gonna turn that down. It's going crazy. This is looking really good. It's looking really thick and hearty, very warm. I'm going to taste it. I'll use this spoon that came up with my measuring spoons, just to see if it needs a bit of salt. Oh, it's so good. It needs a tiny bit of salt, and then I'm gonna add my fresh herbs to that. Just a tiny pinch of salt. I find that sometimes just like the littlest pinch of salt really helps bring out the flavors. So I also like to add some fresh basil and parsley to this. We've already got rosemary in there, but to keep up with the Italian theme and the freshness and brightness, we're gonna add some fresh basil and parsley. Stir that all together. If you want, you can add some cracked black pepper. And then it's ready to ladle into some bowls with some fresh cheese on it if you like. And I also have to cut these brownies. So let's see. We're just gonna cut like that. And then you can see, look at how decadent and chewy and delicious that looks. So good. You can even see the chewy brownie clinging to the knife there. I've got this little plate here. I'm gonna put the brownies on. I'm an edge girl brownie person myself, so I'm just gonna put some edge pieces on there. And now that I have my brownies plated, I'm gonna bring these bowls up and I'm going to put my soup in there. And I forgot my ladle. So I'm gonna scoop some soup out of this beautiful pot of soup like this. Pour it in there. So you wanna make sure to get some broth, some beans, some sausage, or if you had just the vegetarian version with just beans, then it would just be beans and veggies and greens. I'm gonna pour that in there. Then as soon as I finish filling these two bowls, I'm gonna go to the fridge and get a little bit of freshly grated Parmesan cheese and put that in there. There we go. There we go. There you have it. We have elevated canned beans with this absolutely delicious warming winter soup and these decadent black bean brownies. That will take the chill out.
Pairings are brought to you by Liquor Plus. Discover the plus.
Picking the right pairing for our meal will really help warm things up. To help us make a selection is Darren from Lighthouse Brewing. Thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
So we have this soup here that's got a lot of strong flavors, rosemary, garlic, some tomato paste, Italian sausage, kale. I'm really curious to know what you've brought to pair with this.
Well, the first thing that came to mind when we said winter soup was a winter-style beer for me.
Okay.
So what I've brought with us today is our award-winning Keeper's Dry Irish Stout.
Award-winning.
Yes, recently just won bronze at the Canadian Brewing Awards, so we're very happy with that. So.
Okay. So as a stout is definitely more of a winter beer.
It's definitely a winter-style beer. In the summers, you want more of the lighter stuff, but during the winter, you want a little bit more heavier beer.
Okay. I'm excited to try this.
Yes, me too.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I'm picking up some chocolate actually, and a bit of coffee.
Yep, definitely. There's some chocolate malt in there that really goes and brings that chocolate out.
That's
inside this beer.
delicious. All right, now we have to try it with our soup. Let's see. Okay. I think I'm seeing how this is going to pair really, really well.
Definitely.
Oh yeah. That's a perfect pairing for a warm winter night. I can just feel it right now.
Definitely.
There's almost, the weird thing is you call it dry, but I'm actually picking up a bit of sweetness from this beer.
Yeah, there's a little bit of residual sweetness around there. It really balances out the roast malt that we put in there. That kind of gives it that little smokiness, or as a coffee type note to it. So.
Yeah, for sure. And so, yeah, normally I don't know if I would think to pair, a beer with a soup, but this is actually really, really great.
Yeah, it really pairs well with this one.
And you won an award from the Canadian Brewing Awards.
Yes, Canadian Brewing Awards. It came in bronze, so it puts it as the 3rd best dry Irish stout in the country.
Okay, and I see that you have another award-winning beer.
Yes, that one also recently won as well. It's our Capitan Czech Pilsner. That one won a bronze for the Canadian Brewing Awards as well. So again, 3rd best Pilsner in the country.
Wow, so the Pilsner is more of a summer beer?
More of a summer style beer. It's a lager. It's got a little bit more hops to it. It's a little bit more bright, whereas a stout would be a little bit more heavier for a nice cold winter day.
This is why, yeah, exactly. So I can see that's why this is chosen for this soup. Yep. And Lighthouse Brewing, I hear it is one of the older brewing companies on Vancouver Island.
Yes, it is. We've been around since 1998. So next year will be our 25th anniversary. So we're working on a bunch of beers, getting ready for that right now, so that can be coming out soon.
You're the master brewer?
Yes, I am.
Master of the whole domain?
Definitely. That's part of the role.
Yeah, and I actually heard that your Capital is in honor of somebody important.
Yes, our Capitan beer was actually made for our owner, who recently passed away 2 years ago. And in his honor, we decided to come up with a Capitan Czech Pilsner for him.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for joining us and for pairing your excellent beer with this soup.
Yes, thank you for having me.
We would love to see your take on this meal. Please share your photo on social media and tag us at Chef Heidi Fink and at Chek Media. For more information on all the recipes, just follow the links. I'm Chef Heidi Fink. The more you learn, the better it tastes. I can't wait to eat more soup.
Me too.